Okay, so let's talk about the Abraaj Group, a leading investor operating in global growth markets, says it has successfully exited its investment in leading Tunisian pharmaceutical company, Unimed. That was when it was unlisted. Now it's been done listing on the Tunis Stock Exchange via an initial public offering or an IPO. So let's get a sense of it. Why is this an attractive investment window for Abraaj? Let's cross over to Tunis in North Africa, where we have the Abraaj Group Managing Director, Adel Gaucher, to talk to us. Good afternoon. We thank you for your time, for being on the program with us this afternoon.
Hi.
Yes, thank you. Very quick question. What makes the Unimed of Tunisia an attractive company for Abraaj investing about 6 years ago?
Well, Unimed binds several features that make it an ideal candidate for private equity investment. In addition to strong double-digit growth during the last 5 years and higher profitability, with an EBITDA margin close to 40%, the company generates strong cash flows. As you know, Unimed operates in the defensive sector with a high barrier to enter and limited competition, mainly in liquid and powder injectable business. Also, the company benefits from strong research and development capabilities, in addition to competent management. This has made it successful. This has made also the IPO successful, and we are now all happy.
But why do you think healthcare investing in Africa is important from a private equity company point of view?
Investing in healthcare is dominating theme in a private equity market in Africa, as you know, and will remain as such in the foreseeable future, thanks to combination of secular, demographic and microeconomic forces, such as expanding life expectancy, increasing GDP per capita also, improving health coverage, as well as the increasing penetration of generic drugs, which improve access for all the middle class consumers.
But do you see other opportunities in some other healthcare companies on the continent? I'm sure Abraaj has done a number of PE investing in Nigeria.
Surely, Africa has a strong potential given the demographic and the microeconomic dynamics, and these factors are prevalent across the continent, and several regional players like Unimed, but also other players in sub-Saharan Africa, are taking advantage of these favorable dynamics, and the existing of local and regional players are interesting for a group like Abraaj, and we will continue to look for this kind of investment and invest offshore, of course.
Well, Adel, things have been a little bit tough for the continent in terms of the economic headwinds, currency issues across a number of countries, oil prices and what have you. What key challenges do you face investing in Africa as a private equity company?
What's important in Africa is to invest in companies with regional presence versus purely local companies. Which are well diversified in terms of currency and as well as market exposure. Private equity investing in Africa is primarily growing investment, and at Abraaj we are looking for companies with strong and sustainable growth in order to compensate for inflation and currency devaluation risks.
Interesting. So how much are you investing across sub-Saharan Africa in 2016, and what regions are you keeping your eyes on?
Abraaj managed 2 funds in Africa dedicated to Africa. The first one is the Abraaj Africa Fund, and the second is Abraaj North Africa Fund, which combined have a total of 1.3 billion of fund under management. During the last couple of years, Abraaj has been very active across the 3 main themes, which are healthcare, including of course care services and pharmaceuticals, education, where we invested recently in the largest platform in Egypt, and finally consumer goods such as personal care and agribusinesses.
Okay, let's leave it there for today. We thank you very much and wish you all the best there across Africa with your footprints. Adel Gaucher, the Managing Director of Abraaj Group from Tunis. Nigeria's Finance Minister, Kemi Adeosun, says the government is working with the state governments to ensure fiscal discipline in managing the state of the economy. Mrs. Adeosun, who was our guest on our breakfast show Sunrise today, said with the dwindling price of crude oil in the international markets, the state governments have realized the need to begin to save more. She also explained the reason for the earlier controversy around the sharing of the excess crude account.
I think it's unfair to say the states didn't want to save, because I was in state government. The issues were around, if we have these savings, this excess crude, then let's know you're saving. But we were coming to the FAC account, the FAC meetings month on month, and the balance was going down. I was saying, if you say you're saving for me, don't dip into it. If we're all saving, let's save. But if after a while you come back, the figure has changed, after a while people just said, okay, let's have our own money. But let's talk about the saving culture and specifically about the governors and their will. One thing this has done, and they say never waste a good crisis, is that everybody is now extremely sober. Every Nigerian is sober. Every governor has realized that, wow, so this can happen. Oil price can plummet from 110 to 28 over such a short period of time, and we can be so exposed that we can't even pay salaries. So there is a sobriety that has come in that I don't think we should waste. And we are working very hard with the states now. We've said to them, firstly, we're not bailing them out. We've said we will have a fiscal restructuring plan. Whatever we do is conditional. You must go away and drive efficiencies. You must go away and, for example, do biometric capture of your staff. Know who you're paying. Put in efficiency units. We've done it at the federal government level, and we're seeing the level of savings that can generate. You must sign up to a restructuring plan. And if you don't want a restructuring plan, then we will not help you in any way. And that was the agreement that was formed at NEC last week, which was the meeting of the economic team headed by the Vice President and the governors. And all the governors are subscribing to the need for sustainability of the state.
Also, let's talk about the world of oil, which is Nigeria's economic mainstay. Brent crude futures rose $1.19 on the day to $45.81 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate, or WTI futures, rose $1.45 to $45.23. Let's look at the oil market trend with Adim Okwesa, who is a research analyst with financial derivatives here in Lagos. Adim, thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Wilson.
Yes, OPEC meeting, the next meeting is just a couple of weeks down the line, perhaps 4 weeks or thereabout. So how do you see things spacing out between now and then in terms of price, in terms of supply, looking at the U.S. inventories data that we have in front of us?
Yeah, with regards to U.S. inventories, there was a surprise buildup that was reported earlier this week, and that is actually driving prices downwards, because normally if inventories are rising, it just tells you that demand is weak. And right now, what's driving prices up now is there's a supply disruption in Canada. We all know of the wildfires that's happening in Alberta, which is affecting Canada's production of about 1 million barrels per day. So that's what's driving prices upwards now. And with regards to the OPEC meeting in June, this announcement that came out yesterday that there was no plan, there's no proposal on the table to bring back output limits. So we know that OPEC wouldn't cap their outputs. And we know if we look back at December 2015, that was the main driver of that was the main reason why prices went down in December from about $47 to $27, because they abandoned their plan to freeze outputs. But from now till OPEC, I think we'll be looking out to see if U.S. production will keep on declining. U.S. production has fallen from its peak of about 9.6 million barrels to about 8.9. So we'll see if this trend continues, or if shale producers will come back into the market and commence drilling activity. And we also have to look out for economic data from US, from China, and so on. So those kind of events would drive prices.
Adam, do you think $45 a barrel is here to stay, at least until the June meeting and thereafter?
Yes, I think so. I think 45. Prior to this week, there was this optimism that all prices could go as high as $50, but I think reality has set in. The fundamentals are back in focus, and I don't see it going above 45 to 47. I think 45 is a stable price. So all eyes will be on that OPEC meeting in June. Maybe even if maybe not all producers like Venezuela, like Russia and Canada and so on might attend that meeting. So it's an event to look out for.
Yes, it's an event to look out for. Thank you very much for being part of the program today. Adim Okwesa from Financial Derivatives here in Lagos. Zimbabwe is set to print its own version of the US dollar in order to ease a cash shortage in the country. Central Bank Governor John Mandugia said the cash, known as bond notes, will be backed by $200 million support from Afrexim, that's the Africa Export-Import Bank headquartered in Egypt. The two $5, $10, and $20 notes will have the same value as the US dollar equivalents. Zimbabwe introduced the US dollar after ditching its own currency in 2009, following sustained hyperinflation. Since then, Zimbabweans have been using the US dollar as well as a number of other foreign currencies, including the South African rand and the Chinese yuan. We'll come back to you after the break. Stick around.